Let's get to it. Let's get to it. When you look at how much they make and you seeing the buyer's remorse when it comes to homes, it makes sense. It makes sense. You were always in social media. You got these influencers, these fake influencers telling you they're living so great. A year or two later, you find out they're actually broke. Women are easily led into believing anything that's on social media to the point where they like, you know what? I'm going to get this car. I'm going to get this house. They doing it. I can do it. They look good doing it. I'm going to look good doing it. No, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. They already gassed you into credit card debt, student loan debt. Now you're getting gassed into getting a mortgage and high car payments. You're the target audience when it comes to getting into these ridiculous situations that you can't get out of. But here's the real problem. The real problem, you got a lot of dudes who's actually doing reactions to these videos, and they're not, either they don't know or they're not telling the truth because they don't want to lose their audience. They don't want to lose subscribers, or they don't want to offend nobody. So either they don't want to tell the truth or they don't know. I think they just don't want to tell the truth. I think they just don't want to tell the truth at all because they know. Listen to her and about what she's feeling right now.
Of becoming a home borrower. I borrowed this house from the bank 3 years ago, and I hate it. And some people are asking me, why? Why do you hate it? Because I can't afford it. I can't afford this house. Bro. When I borrowed the house, I could afford it. And the bank insured that. Since then, though, when I borrowed this house, my homeowner's insurance was $1,323 a year. Today, 3 years later, my homeowner's insurance is $2,654 a year. That is a little over $100 increase.
Poor.
Now, that's the end of it. That's the end of it. Right? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Give me a second. Here's the thing with her, right? When you look at her, right, she's young. She is at the most, her age, she's probably around 25. That's the oldest I give us, is 25, right? 3 years ago, right, she was either 22, maybe 21. She looks pretty young here. She said 3 years ago she bought this house. You wasn't supposed to buy it. You're too young. You don't understand finances at all. You don't understand houses. You don't understand what goes into buying a house. You don't understand the maintenance. You don't understand none of this. And you don't have enough money to understand it. Them and other women, the average salary rate between the ages of 21 to 46 is between $28,000 and $40,000. That's between 21 and 46. Your money don't go up that much. That's the average. 21 and 46. $12,000 increase. It's not a lot of money. See, the thing is this. Typically when a house is being bought, right? Well, typically when a house is being bought is when a man and a woman decide they want to get married, they want to have children, and they want to buy a house to raise their children in. Build the foundation. Raise their kids in this home. Then when they get older and, eventually they hit the essence, they can pass the house down to the children. The children can pass the house down to the grandchildren. That's how things typically were done. And here's the thing. Not just one, but 2 salaries are needed today for a house. 2. So you go in a house with your, 30, 40, 30, 33,000. Let's just say 30, 33, $34,000 for this house. You buy this house. You know, 3 years in, 4 years in, you need a new hot water heater. It's $2,000. Do you have it? Oh, no. You know what they're going to do? They're going to come and install a hot water heater. And now you're on a payment plan for that.
Poor.
If you don't know, it's less. It's less if you have the cash. It's probably $1,700 if you have the cash. But since you don't have the cash, it's around $2,000 to $2,100. That's not even a big dog when it comes to the house. That's not the big dog. The 2 big dogs is the furnace and the roof. What if you need a new roof? What if you need a new roof? Yeah, I have properties. I remember when I bought them a while ago. Had to get the roof done. It was expensive then. I can't imagine what it is now. Once you get a roof done, it'll last from 20 to 25 years. But it costs. They tell you, depending on the size, depending on how many dormers, on the top of the roof, depending on the size of the house, they may tell you, hey, $8,000. That's on the low end today. $8,000. You don't have $8,000. What are you going to do? Another payment plan.
Poor.
Another payment plan. Oh, okay. You don't have the money to get the roof done. So you can't get the roof done. You don't have enough money to even go get the roof done and put it on a payment plan. You can't do that because of your mortgage. You're struggling to pay your mortgage already. So this is where it comes to her insurance, her homeowner's insurance. Typically, your homeowner's insurance don't jump up that high. It really don't. You know why your homeowner insurance would just skyrocket? Because of the roof. You know what happens? This is what happens. What happens is whatever homeowner's insurance you're using, what ends up happening is they send somebody out to look at the roof. If the roof is not up to standards, right? They're not going to, you're not going to get insured. They're going to drop you if you already have them, because you can call and tell them and they'll put you on, but they'll send somebody out. Once they send somebody out, they drop you if the roof is looking like it needs to be replaced. the shingles is up. You can see the shingles sticking out. They'll tell you, no, we can't insure you because your roof is not up to standards. So, you know what happens, right? The bank finds out. And now the bank is giving you homeowners insurance. And the bank charges a grip. I know what I'm talking about. The bank charges a grip. So that's probably why her homeowner's insurance is so high. It's because, and that's typically what it is. It's typically the roof. They come by, they look at the roof, they see it, and they say, oh, that needs to be changed. That you need a new roof. And if you can't get a new roof, we're dropping you. We drop you, and then the bank picks it up.
Poor.
The bank picks it up, and then it skyrockets. But you want it to be, independent, right? You could have been independent in an apartment, but you just needed to flex. You need to tell your friends, your co-workers, your friends, your family that you done bossed up and you got yourself a house. Bragging. Just for bragging rights. And now you can't afford the house. You're not supposed to own the house because you can't afford it. Typically, people tend to buy houses as a couple because it's two incomes. You make $33,000. Oh, he makes $50,000, right? That's $83,000. Maybe he makes $60,000. That's $93,000. That's way better than $33,000. Plus, we didn't even talk about property taxes. Oh, those always go up. Property taxes go up. Oh, and here's another thing. Interest rates. See, when you're buying a home, they would rather you not lock in an interest rate when it's low, because if you lock in an interest rate when it's low, right? If let's say an interest rate right now, right? Interest rate, you lucky enough to find an interest rate somewhere for 5%, right? 5% interest rate, not 8, 5%, and you lock it in, right? When it goes up to 6, 7, 8, you don't have to pay that because you already locked that rate in. That locked in rate is for the remainder of the loan. So it'll never go up, go down. You lock that in. Here's the thing, though. You have to pay for that. So you don't even have the money to pay for that. That will cost you around $2,500 to lock in that rate. It'll save you a lot of money down the line, but you're looking at it and you're like, I can't do that. I can't give you $2,500.
Poor.
I had to pay for everything. I had to shell out some money to close on this house. I had to pay the lawyer $1,200 alone to do nothing really. So they usually end up with the fluctuating rate, which means today it's 5%. Tomorrow it could be 8%, and then your mortgage goes up. You see, these things, never occur to them. Anything can happen. Plumbing. You might have to have some plumbers come out to look at the pipes because there's some rattling going on. Maybe there's some stoppage. Plumbers are expensive. You never know. Your bathtub is stopped up the kitchen is stopped up, you got to call a plumber. That's $300-$400 for them to come through with a snake, a mechanical snake, right? To snake out the tub, because you tried it with your $25 snake from Walmart, and it did nothing. You went to Walmart, bought a snake, tried to do it yourself, did nothing. Now you got to call the plumber with the mechanical snake to come through, because your hair is all in the pipes. All that gunk is in a pipe. That costs. And don't better hope that that's the only thing wrong with the pipes. Better not have holes in them and they got to replace pipes. All these things come into play when buying a house. And it's not for young people unless they're young and they're in a relationship and they're buying a house together. I'm talking about a family, not shacking up. And that's what they're afraid to tell them. That's what they're afraid to tell them. They're afraid to tell them that. They're afraid to say, hey, you're going to buy a house. It's not going to work out for you. You need a man. You see, here's the thing about men. Here's the thing about us, right? If there's something wrong with the house, and they could get upset, and they can get upset all they want and say, oh, that's not true. We know this is true. If there's something wrong with the house, anything, we take care of it immediately. We take care of things immediately. Anything. Just like if there's something wrong with the car, we take things. If we can't be driving around with the check engine light on. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't drive around in the car with the tank on E talking about it can go another 30 miles. That's them. So it's the same thing with the house. Something wrong with the stairs, we fix it. The something wrong with the porch, the patio, we fix it. Something going on in the basement, the furnace, maybe the whole furnace don't need to be replaced, but there's a pipe that needs to be replaced because it's leaking. It got a hole. We fix it. We fix things. And if we don't fix it, we call somebody to fix it. It's going to cost, but these are things that we will not just let sit, because we know the more we let it sit, the worse the problem is going to be. And that's not what they do, because they look at it as it's too much money. They don't have it right now, and they may have it. Most of the time they don't, but they may have it. But the thing is, they look at it as they don't want to make that issue go away, because they would rather spend that money on boots. They'd rather spend that money on clothes. They'd rather spend that money on something that makes them look better, but your house is looking like crap. She hates living there. She hates owning that home because it's too much for her. It's not just the homeowner's insurance. It's everything. You can't afford it. You're too young. Go rent an apartment. If you single by yourself, no family, and when I mean no family, I'm talking about kids, no marriage. I'm going to tell you one thing. The best thing you should do, especially as a young adult, is rent. That way you have more freedom. You have more freedom as a renter. You can just, end the lease when it's time to end the lease, or be on month to month. Or, if you don't like it there, you can go somewhere else, rent another apartment. You could go travel. You could decide to just leave. You could decide to just leave the States and live somewhere else for months on end. Hey, listen, I'm leaving this apartment. I'm going overseas. I'm going to live over there for 4 months. I got opportunities over there. So yeah, I'm out of here. It's so much freedom when you're renting as a young adult, because if things become too expensive for you, you can decide to just get up and go and find something, more suitable for your financial situation. You could do that. When you lock yourself in with a mortgage, that's it. You're there. You're there. And you don't, and the thing is, she said she had it for 3 years. She hasn't built up enough equity to even get any good money back. You don't have enough equity for nothing. You got to be in there for a while to have some equity. Or you got to be doubling up on payments, which they're not doing. The problem is that they've been told that in order to live their best life, they got to put themselves in so much debt. And it's just simply not true. Simply not true. But we can't tell them anything, because it's like when we tell them the truth, right? They think we're trying to dull their shine. No, we're not trying to dull your shine. We're not trying to do any of that. We're telling you can't afford it because you can't afford it. You want to dull your shine, go ahead and put your signature up on that piece of paper. They do it electronically now. Once that's done, that's it. Lights out. Anyway, salute. Let me know what you think. I know y'all gonna, I know you got your own idea about what's going on, but I know that's what it is. I know that they can't afford it, man. They can't afford it. And they've been lied to.